Like that big word contiguous. Thank you very much. Gobbledygook talk. It just means that there's no missing rows in between here. You need a description here. Then sometimes I go in and I insert here and I put a sequence 1 through whatever so that I can sort by other columns and then come back and resort in the column it's in. But since I know I'm going to be using, so we now have a table that's indexed from QuickBooks. I'm now going to highlight the whole table. We'll give it a name. We'll give it DEC 2012. Now, just going to demonstrate I'm going to create a new workbook. Control V. Whoops. Control C. Control V. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to fill in. You see we've got formulas here and it's a little difficult to know what's formulas and what isn't, so I have a macro up here that does it automatically. And I'm just doing it, I'm just looking for numbers that are fixed. So these are the ones that have to be filled in. These are the totals. So if I had a forecast and budget, let's just do a V lookup. Since this is a header, it shouldn't find anything. Equal V lookup, comma, and we're going to do that, whatever that was. What was it? It was, I hate that Excel changed to, used to be able to have a drop down DEC 2012. So it's equal V lookup, comma DEC 2012, comma, we're going to pick up that, comma, false. We have now picked that up and we've got to get this, we're going to stick this to pick up that column all the time. It's always going to look at column 1 for this. So if we go here, it's the macro I have for changing, making it look better. And of course you can do the thousands and dollars at the top if you're just got a finicky boss. And I'm a little finicky myself, so it just looks better. Got a macro for doing that. But if you're working on a forecast, of course, you would probably have your actuals the first part of the year, and you would have your forecast going out, which might be items being picked up from the budget worksheet, which should look identical. And then you can hide this column. So I use this all the time. What can I say? I think if you can learn to use it that way, then you can use it that way too. You can turn this hint thing off incidentally so it isn't popping over into your spreadsheets all the time. Now I've taken this table, added a sequence number, which starts with 1, of course. And what I'm going to do is just do a pivot table off of this report, but I wanted to show you how I go about. You got to make sure you have like the big word I used before, contiguous table, which means that no matter where you plunk on this thing and select to pick the whole thing, you're going to do it. I also have a macro I set up to do the same thing you do with that button up there. What I'm going to do is get rid of anything that has the word total in it, but let's do another highlight of this thing so we can see what we're working on here. So we're going to do a custom contains TOTL, and there we have a bunch of items that have the word total in it. I'm going to highlight those cells, and then I have a macro which selects just the cells I'm looking at, and we'll just give it a blank. We'll go to Edit, Replace Blanks with X. Then if we data filter show all, and I think probably we may have gotten most of the, yeah, I think, oh, there's a few down there. Gross profit and net income, ordinary income. We don't need any of these. Whoops. Looks like I forgot to fix my sequence numbers in place, but that doesn't matter. Okay, now we can go in, and I'm going to designate these different lines for a future pivot table. You don't have to watch me do that. Continuing on here, I've put a sequence in. Since it's the same as the account number, we're in good shape there. Now the income accounts, if we're going to do a pivot table and look at it as income and expense, we have to convert the income to a credit from financial to, so I'm going to go in here. Since this is a summary column here, I only need to change these items in here, and I have a ASAP utilities under numbers. Allows us to convert negative to positive and vice versa. So we have now done that. I got a little quickie here to. Then we have one income item down at the bottom, and this has to have the same thing done to it. Now ASAP Utilities allows you to create your favorites, so I have those in there too. But excellent utility, asaputilities.com. So now what we have here is the all the credits are in accounting convention. Whoops, I see that I accidentally got that cost of goods. Let's reverse that. Okay. Now let's do a pivot table on this thing. I'm going to designate profit and loss. I'm going to pick up the total, and we'll take a look and see. Let's put the actual index in there too, which is the account number, just so we can look at it. And of course we want the total. It's giving us count because I have some blanks in there. Okay. So we don't have it in the right order because I probably should have put A in front of this, but that's okay. We can see what's going on. And of course, if we just want to look at let's say we want to look at the income only, or particular income items, we can do that. So anyway, that's the pivot table. So I think I've shown you some nifty things we can get done in QuickBooks. Thank you very much for watching this.